What's going on, y'all? It's your boy J.H. Gibbons,
We'll see. It's over here.
and we want to welcome y'all to another Acromis podcast. Do not adjust your laptop, your phone, your TV set, however you are coming to us today on this beautiful Sunday. You just come to us, and it's us. It's always been us. It's always going to be us. That's just how we roll. Now, again, unless you were living under a rock, there's some news, man. Especially if you're into sports as much as we are, especially football. Love football. Washington football team did not do as well as we thought they would this year, but their opponent in the playoffs ended up winning the Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Give a round of applause.
Congratulations. Where's
That guy,
good?
Tom Brady. I mean, he's the GOAT. Like, there's no, I don't know about you, we'll see, but I've never seen someone at the age of 43 do what this man is doing. And it's not just 43, it's what he's done for his career. 7 rings. 7 rings. He has more Super Bowl wins than teams, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's phenomenal. So, again, shout out to Tom Brady.
Shout out to Tom Brady.
Bucks.
TB12, man.
Yeah, I mean,
12.
and he looks so good that he looks like he could do it for another 3-4 years.
Another 3 at least, bro. Like, he's, a few years ago he was talking about avocado ice cream and all this other stuff and his TB12 method. Honestly, I sat back and joked. I shouldn't have, because I mean, this guy, from when he started, he was a little bit chunkier. You know what I'm saying? He was going out there, didn't have much swag. I mean, he was the 7th overall pick or whatever. He was way late in the draft. He was the forgotten man. To now, Tom's got so much swagger, man. He's rolling. And if you saw the parade earlier this week, you see that man is lit. He was much more lit in Tampa than he was in New England. That's a whole totally different man. And again, big ups to him. Big ups to AB. I know he's that man's been through some things recently. Some of it is his own doing, and others is just circumstance. But I'm glad he's been able to get that title. Same thing with Mike Evans at receiver, man. He's been with Tampa forever. He's their guy, always has been, and he's finally got one. Gronk's got another. Look, it's always good to just celebrate accomplishments and what Tom has been able to do with that team, a team that has not been to the playoffs, and I think about 18 seasons, has done what he's done in 1 year, bro. Like, that's crazy. It's just
that is. Isn't it like the cicada time frame as well?
Yeah. God, speaking of that, man, I don't bro. The last time they came around was in middle school, man, and
yeah.
Let me tell you, I was afraid of them because they acted stupid sometimes. Like, they're just flying in your face. So you just walk into class with your binder or whatever, it's a nice, you just get slapped in the face by a cicada, bro. And them things they were all chunky. And
they were like this big too.
They were too big for them, man. They were too big for me, man. I stayed inside most of the time, man. But we had some crazy cats in middle school, man. And people who went to Parkland Middle School, shout out to Parkland Middle School. Way back in the day, I think this was like what, 2001 to 2004, 2005, something like that. But
oh god, yeah, I guess I was in high school as well.
Yeah,
so shout out to Edison.
There you go. I remember those days, man. Them things were heavy, and apparently they're making a comeback, which means that I'm going to be in my basement for a lot longer. I'm not.
It's time.
It's time, and I'm not rocking, bro. I'm just not doing it, man. I'm not doing it.
Understandable.
But, man, I mean, I know, like, in terms of social media, man, of course we're active and we're trying to be as active as we can. We're trying to bring the best content to y'all because we love y'all and we want y'all to be as successful as we are being now and as we are going to be for the future. And I want to give a shout out to Lean on Faith. That is LeonFaith. Follow her on Instagram. So shout out to her because she DM'd us, man. And she was like, bro, y'all got to get that lighting together. And looking back at the first 2 ones that we did, I'm like, you know what, sis, you're right. It's 2021 now. We need to step up our game, right? So Absolutely. I got this ring light. I'm looking gorgeous right now. Hey, you got the light on. You looking sweet. It's time to roll, man.
Thank you.
It's time to roll.
Yes, thank you. Shout out where it's due. Credit where
Shout
it's
out,
due.
man. Hey,
It's all
hey,
bright
hey,
minds, bro.
sis, you doing it. Keep doing it. We appreciate you. This lighting, you're absolutely right, man. I'm feeling it today.
Yeah,
Feeling it today.
yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
man.
let's do it, man. Like I
Absolutely. Let's
think
get into it, bro.
let's do it.
Let's
So I
do it,
think
Lewis.
we're gonna delve in and to the dangers of social media. Topic, right?
Shit, I need to scoot up a little bit because
I,
this one, this is ooh, I feel like we about to go in here.
oh
Yes, sir.
gosh, I mean it's so much depth to it where we can really go anywhere with it, right? But I think we just have to kind of really look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
Social media, uh, it's to me one of the greatest things to ever happen to humans, and at the same time is probably one of our biggest flaws,
Mm,
where it's almost affecting our humanity and how we operate as a whole, as people, the way we think,
mm,
where we set our standards based on what we see, adjusting our moral compass in a lot of ways, right? So I'm going to jump right into it. Well, for
floor is
me,
yours, my brother.
with some of the
What?
things that are more recent,
Yes, yes. I mean,
like
what is it on this whole social media stuff, man? I know we use it especially because of Acronis
yeah,
and just to, if we just want to laugh at something, they got memes, they've got videos, they've got, they got so many things now that we look at, and sometimes we lose track and we lose the opportunity to do other things with the time that we're spending on it, man. So just yeah, let me know what your thoughts on it, man, and how you feel about it, the good and the bad. How has it affected you?
ooh, ooh, good question. Good question. If we're referencing to me, I would say for me, I
Mm,
focus more on the positives of allowing allowing the platform of it to be used so my voice may be heard.
mm,
Where my life experiences outside of social media, I'm channeling those experiences and that energy to give something good to anyone who's willing to receive it. And it's been beautiful through my journey, my transformation within the last year or so of being able to share that part of me, my journey, my growth, my experiences, uh, and I've been reached out to from certain individuals who have definitely let me know that the path I've decided to take has been inspirational to another.
mm,
And that's a beautiful feeling to be able to utilize social media in a positive way.
mm.
Now, like you said, where there are memes and the comedy out there. I don't get it wrong. I love that. I'm all for it. I'm all for a good laugh, all in good fun. No ill will intentions, but it is a way to kind of help take a moment to decompress from the stress of reality at times. So it's like I think there's a healthy dosage of it that you need,
Mm.
right? Where it gives you a balance, but sometimes, as we see, you can kind of go what I like to call a rabbit hole, and you just kind of find yourself trending down this endless wave of just like nonsense, and it just becomes a reality for you, where any and everything is acceptable. Um, so yeah, that's it's just looking at it that way. I mean, it
Yeah.
just makes it a little tough, to balance it as a whole,
Mm.
because um, for example, the silhouette challenge, right? Like something like yes, yeah, I'm going there. Something like that, where um, we are with the times, right? This is a new day and age era where I get it,
Mm.
but where the line has to be drawn for me is the part where's the moral restraint, um, and self discipline and kind of respect for yourself, where that version of you, chances are, isn't truly who you are outside of the realm of social media.
Mm.
So it's almost as if you feel as though you have to uphold a certain standard in two realms, right? Where
Mm.
there's the you outside of it that your family knows and friends knows and everyone knows who you are and how you operate, how you move, and maybe you view it as an opportunity to showcase something for growth or whatever the purpose is. You know, there may be an agenda for you, but then that's the image of what's put out there. And that's not to say, look, to each his own, but at the same time, it carries weight. It's very influential. So as we see these sort of things trend, and it catches on like wildfire, if only half the effort was put into something that is truly beneficial to everyone as a whole, there will be a lot less like issues that we see that should be more addressed, such as like the mental health awareness aspects of what social media has done, where, for example, with the youth 20 years ago, where everyone would go outside and play. Right, growing up, we grew up in that area where we went outside,
Right.
we threw the ball and ran out.
So do you feel as though, because for me, all right, so a few things there, especially when it comes to the silhouette challenge, and you were talking about spending time doing something that may be a little bit more productive. Honestly, like I do have a TikTok. I don't really use it much, but for the one or two videos that I have on my profile, like that took some work to do. It takes the right lighting. You got to get the sync up right. It has to look good, and then you got to share it and promote it, and all that other stuff. So it takes a lot of effort, and for that particular challenge, especially when they did have some sickos out there who found out how to change that little red filter so that you could see other things that you might not want to have been seen. But then at the same time, you have to understand you're doing this in front of a camera, you're doing this, and you have thousands of people watching. You have thousands of people who are going to see it eventually. Um, and my again, to each his or her own. But you have to understand that when you're putting something like that out there, that's gonna follow you and become part of who you are. Even if that isn't who you are, whatever you're portraying yourself on social media is who you will end up becoming. It's the perception that you're putting out there. So when I did see that and some of the other challenges that they've done in the past, um, the same thing for me. It's like, as you said, if we were to put that effort into doing something that may be a little bit more productive or more worthwhile, and not to say that there aren't any videos out there that do fit that category, because there are a ton. But if we're talking about trying to progress yourself, or trying to progress people who look like you or sound like you, it's hard to say one thing and do another and still be seen as somewhat of an authority figure in a specific space. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's I can't tell another adult what to do or how to live their life, and I never would want to, because I don't want the same for me, and I'm sure you don't want the same for yourself. But you just have to be cognizant of who's seeing this. You gotta realize what you're putting out there in a space that other people can see and take advantage of, as they have done with this challenge, and I'm sure they're gonna do with many challenges to come.
Agreed. Absolutely. And then, to honestly, to take it a step further, I mean, like, as I referenced a little earlier with like mental health awareness, and even if you factor in relationships and how it all ties together, where it's very impactful. Um,
Mm.
where, I mean, I don't want to single out any artist or anyone like that in particular, right? Because everyone has who they like and who they enjoy. And frankly speaking, I love all genre of music. So, um, that's near and dear to me. But there are um, those sort of instances where what you see on social media, like TikTok, and like what's used. Um, and that's not to take anything away from TikTok. Let's be clear.
Yeah, no, I
It's
have
used
I
for
have no beef
entertainment.
with the
So
app.
let's be clear.
An app is an app, right?
An
You,
app is
the
an app.
people who join that app make up the app. So
Yeah,
an app is what it is, right? It's
yeah.
it's it's you can do whatever you want. It's social media, but it's the people who end up making these profiles and end up making the videos. They're the ones that make up the app. So
Which is the focus, right? Which is what I'd hope to channel the that perspective of like, okay, um, here I am signing into uh, one of these apps, and I'm just kind of watching what's trending, going up and down the timeline. And what is happening is I am capturing what I see, and I'm embracing that to my being, right?
Mm.
So no different. I referenced music earlier because it's no different than what you listen to, which will essentially affect your mood, right? So if you listen to something like something like from country, a lot of times as we know, country music is very passionate and it can draw an emotion of sorrow. So you might listen to one song and it just kind of
Mm.
caught your guards and here come the tears, the well works are going. And then you may
Sometimes it hits you.
also, you may decide you want to listen to Lil Jon.
Mm.
Next thing you amped up, man. You amped up, you riled up, you pimped up. You got all
Mm.
this aggression you got to get out for one way or another. It's no different in social media, where what you are entertaining yourself with, you have to align. Is it a healthy habit for your state of being, the way
Mm.
you process? Uh, and it's not to say like that you don't have the mental fortitude to handle what you're embracing, what you're watching, but it does affect you. It does affect your mood, where you may have things that you see or advertisements where it's referencing. If you don't like this particular video, you don't like this particular meme, then something's wrong with you.
Mm.
And you just keep scrolling, like kind of like those chain ones. So it's like and that's a light dosage on it. But if you look at it for like relationships, oh man, how many relationships out here has ended? How many of you out here had a relationship that fell to the wayside because your significant other was more focused on social media? They were more focused on um, listening to what other women may have had to say in reference of their experiences or certain videos that kind of portrayed a certain image of a person, and you just kind of start questioning like, dang, is that what I have going on?
Mm.
And as a man, like what we see about having the one person that's supposed to be our significant other is enough for us,
Mm.
vice versa. But I do think all of those play a role in affect one's relationship. And when you're there to choose each other every day, that's what should be happening. But you start getting distracted and you start focusing and putting energy elsewhere,
Mm.
uh, instead of where it's truly needed. And social media can be beneficial if used in the right way. Where there are times where you can learn a healthy lesson to help you in those areas, or either like with mental health and healthy habits, for example, what we're doing and what we are advocating to give to keep a good state of mind, a good state of being, and be positive, positive reinforcement. Um, those are all things that you have to really factor in and consider, because a lot of the times, uh, more often than not, you can go out with your friends and everyone is on their phone. No one can really hold a conversation
No,
more than 5 minutes without,
that's a big problem. I mean,
see what I got.
I've seen that. I've seen that, when I was with my lady, we would go out to dinner, or we would go out to lunch, or just be hanging out with each other, in each other's company, being in each other's presence. And that's the one thing I would see at all these other tables. And you could tell when some people, some couples are either on their first date, or they're married because they've been doing this for a long time. But whether it is the new one or the established one, there's a time where they're literally just doing this. No conversation, just lobster, please. Yo, well done. Well, a martini too, please. Thank you. The whole time, there's no conversation between them, and in some cases, especially if they have a family, this is probably the only time that they have to do this. This is probably the only time that they have away from their kids, away from from any other distractions. Well, not, the kid is not the distraction, but you know what I mean. This is the time that they have for themselves, and this is how they spend it. They spend it. Well, I'm gonna take a picture of my food. I'm gonna tag everybody in it. Let me make sure I got all the right hashtags. All right, cool. I can eat. No, wait. Oh, look at my fit. Oh yeah, wait. It is, yeah. All right. And by the time the food's already cold, right? The food is cold, the wine is flat, everything is done. And all you did is you took a picture of your experience so that other people can see what you're experiencing. No, you gotta live it. The
You know,
same thing happens at games, man. At football games, sporting events. you know, if you're going to a theater to watch like The Lion King or something, like I see it aggravates me, man, because you spend hundreds of dollars to get there, right? You got to pay for parking, you got to pay for food, you got to pay for your seats, you know, transportation, whatever. You got to pay for all of those things. And the minute you sit down, this is all you're
Yeah,
doing. You can't get
yeah,
off your phone for a second to appreciate the game that you're seeing. Appreciate the game that you spent so much money on, and you can't do it for just 1 second. So when it comes to your mental health and how you're wired to pick up your phone the first thing in the morning and scroll through Facebook endlessly because there's no bottom to Facebook. You can stay there the entire 24 hours. You 24
forever.
hours and keep scrolling. You'll never get to the end. And honestly, that's great design by all of these social media platforms. Same goes with
Mhm.
Instagram, same goes with, you know, TikTok, and they've all been able to master that so that you literally can spend the entire day on there and you will never see something that is 100% older. You'll never get to the bottom of that page. It just keeps refreshing
Yeah.
you.
I'm going to interject in a second on that.
Yeah.
It's to a science because now it's even to a point where um, whatever you seem to be interested in is what pops up on your timeline. Like I'll give you an example. When I was traveling for work, I remember I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and
Shout out to
I
Chattanooga.
yeah, it was something. Like I hadn't been there before, and I happened to go on Facebook, and I saw that the first thing I saw, mind you, never seen this in my life before, never been to this state before.
Right.
I see this video of Samuel Jackson about him, growing up there, being from there, and I was like, wait, what?
I never knew
So I was
that.
like, wait a minute, why am I getting information in this area when I'm not, my IP and everything should really be channeled from this area. Like,
Yeah.
look where I've been. That's where it should be.
Right.
And it was at that moment I started to notice the trend. Or if you talk about, like, for example, right now, I'm gonna say like maybe I love chocolate, right? So I love like chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
So let's say I want some chocolate ice cream tonight. Next thing you know, I'm gonna see that, right? I'm gonna all of a sudden see a huge chocolate fudge
Mhm.
drizzle and
Yup.
all the works all
They're
over it.
tracking you, man. They're
So I'm gonna
they,
see that.
yep, they know it all.
Or let's say I want to have a Kazuki. Someone that I talked to had mentioned something about that, and I haven't had that before. I had actually seen something like that. I was like, okay, yeah, my stuff is being recorded. I say that to
Yeah.
say we know that this happens, right? But
We're
the
okay with it.
reality of it is that it's a science to it. It's being calculated. It's intended to keep you uh, addicted to it because it's an addiction, and it takes you from reality. Crazy part about that too, that process, like you said, in person with someone, it's so bad that it even happens when you are like discussing something with someone and you're on FaceTime or something like that, because you can clearly know when someone is actually like, mid conversation with you, but they're focused elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it's being created that way to make you split your time even more. So how are
Mhm.
you really focusing on that individual and building a communication, right? Establishing a
Mhm.
getting to know each other of this
Mhm.
moment.
Right
Because no, it's half and half.
right there. Right there communication. I mean, that is the I mean, if this was Sesame Street, it's the word of the day, right? Letter of the day. I don't know. I barely watch
Communication.
Sesame Street, but communication, communication, man. I mean, the big C. If there's something in any sort of relationship that or any sort of relationship, whether it's, you know, an intimate one, business, anything, it literally relies on communication. And when I say communication, I don't mean somebody just talking just to talk and you're not listening to them, right? There's a difference between hearing and listening. When you hear somebody, they're just yapping one ear out the other. You don't really take in what they're saying as being serious or honest, or maybe you just don't care to hear what they're saying. When you listen, when you take in, you listen actively, like, all right, babe, I got you. All right, babe, I got you. All right, boss. Yep, understood. I'm gonna get that done. Get it done the way you want it, and everything just you see everything flow so much smoother because you're on the same page, you're managing expectations correctly, and you're spending more time with each other to get to grow, to get to know each other more. Once that growth stops, once that communication stops, once that level of understanding starts to drop, then that's when you get those distractions. And it's not to say the distractions aren't already there. Like let's be honest, as men and women, there are always going to be distractions, whether there is other men and women, whether it's parties, it's a social life, it's whatever. They're always going to be there. That's part of life. But as you build with somebody, as you build towards something, all of those go away. You don't, you're laser focused on what your objectives are, whether it's within your family, within your business, whatever those objectives are, you get to focus more on it because all those other distractions are pushed to the side, especially when it comes to social media. I can't stress it enough. Do not let social media dictate or control your relationship. I'll say that again. Do not let social media dictate or control your relationships because they will not end well. Your relationship is between you and your significant other. That's it.
Hey, I mean, I know we've been there. I've been there where it's definitely caused me to be where I'm at
Yeah.
just by myself. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it is detrimental.
Mhm.
It does affect the way people think. It does affect their expectations. And it does affect their ability to truly stay focused on what it is that they state is wanted for that time being rather than what is the expectation of everyone else and
Yeah.
what the measurement of social media is putting everything is. For example, Valentine's Day is coming up, right? Oh man, you can't go anywhere without seeing any sort of
Oh man, is that coming?
hey, you know what? Hey, look, I I love myself. I'm gonna love myself so hard this year. So it's just me. So, um, hey, I know you have a significant
Yeah,
other, so
hey,
you got time. Yeah, you got time,
I
baby. You
I'm
got
safe.
time.
I'm
So,
safe. I slid
you
into
say
home base. I'm safe. I got the point. We good.
good stuff, man. So shout out to that and for everyone out there that
Yes,
has something they need to do, peer pressure on
absolutely.
social media.
Absolutely.
So stay
Happy
away from that so you
Valentine's.
can have your own
Yep.
thoughts.
Yep.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Exactly. And do not please, and I know this has already been said, but I must repeat it. Do not let just one day show how much you love somebody. Love them every day. Love them every minute, every second. Don't allow this day to be all right. This is the day I spend with Bay. No. Every day is Bay Day. Every
It
day
should
is
be
Bay Day. Come
E-
on, man.
every second. Every
Every set.
second you
Boom.
must remember to choose each other.
Boom.
Every single second
Yeah.
matters. Uh,
Yeah.
and this day should just be a representation for the world to just be aware of it.
Mhm.
However, every second of every other day to me personally
Mhm.
matters more than this day, what it
Mhm.
truly stands for, because you have to choose each other in that
Mhm.
regard. And again, as we correlate that back to the focus of social media,
Mhm.
we get it wrong. I say that from a perspective, respectfully to a lot of people that I know, and a lot of the issues that are encountered is because of things of that nature. Um, and a lot of the times people are totally blinded from it. They just don't see it. If an issue goes wrong, rather than address that issue with that person, they go right into what may make the situation worse. And like maybe they go online and they see something similar, or they see like a cheating post or
Mhm.
something that affects your mental state of being. It makes
Mhm.
you feel bad. It
Yep.
makes you feel like, okay, I'm not doing something I should be doing.
Mhm.
It's those drawbacks that really damage a relationship. Like, I think it's healthy to decompress from social media occasionally. Like, I did one last year where I was off of it for a few months,
Mhm.
and I was able to realign myself, and that was really the jump start to kind of allow me to focus on, William, you need to do some
Nice.
things to make you better,
Yeah.
and you have things you have to channel.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, I mean, outside of what is important in being here for you all, that is something I plan to do. That's outside of that realm where my personal side of things, I detach more time because I have other things in my life I need to reevaluate now so that I can get to that next phase. So it's healthy to take that out because really it's an addiction. It's become an addiction. And I'll tell you this, if you question that and you kind of say, nah, that's not the case, check your phone, check your screen time. See how much time is actually vested in a week. See how much time that you're spending. And I promise you, you're hitting hours. You're hitting hours in a way where that's your essence, your life is just ticking away. And that time could be used to invest to something so much more meaningful for you. Or the platform for what it is in a way where it could be productive. A healthy habit out of it could be used to be created. Profit could be made of some kind. That's good for you. So, and this is not to chastise anyone because I do it myself. I do have time. I need to decompress and get away from the stresses of reality, and I need to go see something that's going to make me laugh. That works for me. I like to look and I surf and I find funny things and I send it to my friends because I want them to have a moment to feel good. I want them to make them laugh, because life is hard enough as it is.
Yeah.
So that's what I do in my spare time when I make that short time for it is to look for parodies, things that I find to be funny, or watch comedies. So I'll watch that endlessly.
Yeah.
That's what works for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially when it comes to comedies and memes and skits, like that is right up my alley, man. As you said, life is stressful. This pandemic is still upon us, and a lot of people right now are just they're looking for things to laugh at and sort of feel good with, and I think that's good for our society. It feels like we're recovering right now. It feels like all of us as a society are getting to a point of, all right, let's come together, man. I love you, we love each other. Let's put our heads together. Let's try to progress. And I hope that vibe is something that we can carry on. I hope that a lot of the division that has been within our country, specifically over the past few years, tends to sort of, I don't want to say fade into the darkness, because it needs to be something that we talk about. There needs to be a discussion on how we do handle it and move forward, instead of letting that portion hide only to be invigorated again at some point. So I think that needs to be dealt with, right? Communication, all that stuff helps. And in terms of time, man, I honestly cannot think of a better asset, a more valuable asset than time. I mean, we make money, we lose money. We can't make time, right? Even if you say, okay, I can make time for somebody, there's also time not being spent somewhere else. Time's only moving forward. We can't pause it. We can't go backwards, at least not yet. That hasn't been invented. I hope it does one day. That'd be pretty cool.
That's
But
a future
I know, right? That'd be pretty dope. There's a lot of things that would change. But even if I go back in time and try to change things, as you see in Back to the future is then also altered. So time is always going to be moving forward. And just as you said, specifically when you touched your phone and you saw, man, there's some time spent on some of these apps that maybe I can cut back on. I know for me, for example, there was one time in my life where I was like, all right, I feel like I'm spending so much time and I don't on social media and doing things that aren't productive. And it wasn't even just that I felt that way. I saw it, right? My phone told me like this iPhone is pretty cool. I don't even know if it's an app or if it just happens, but at the end of the week, it lets me know how much screen time I had and specifically where I spent that screen time, whether it's social media, whether it was on Google, being productive, whatever. Um, and I noticed one time, I don't know if it was a week where I was off work or I was on vacation. I was doing something and I wasn't being as productive as I could be. So there was a time when I think it was maybe 30 hours, I want to say, that I spent on social media. And this was like on a Saturday and Sunday. I'm like, all right, so on accident, not really even thinking about it, just doing it subconsciously, I spent 30 hours out of a week doing something that was not really productive. I'm probably scoping out different pages. I'm probably writing a status or two. This I was probably doing something with the Chromis, maybe, but it doesn't take up all those 30 hours. So I'm like, I need to improve this. What can I do? What can I do? And the thing that I did, and I hope this is something that you can also take note and be helped with as well, guys. I I divided that 30 by 2 and I did it on purpose. So I'm like, all right, I spent 30 hours last week on accident searching, so just surfing the web, doing whatever, nothing productive. Why don't I divide that, make that 15 hours of not doing anything productive, but doing it on purpose, knowing that I'm actually doing it, so that I'm scoping it out and being conscious in my realization that I am spending time doing something that is not really worthwhile. It's pretty worthless, honestly. So as I went through the days, I marked, all right, well, let me spend 2 hours here, let me spend 3 hours here, another 3 hours here, another 3 hours here, 4 hours here. And then by the time I got to that Sunday, I was like, all right, I'm at 15 hours. Boom. So here's kind of how I did it. And this is exactly how you can do it if you want to. Of course, there are other methods you can use, but this method was helpful for me. So just want to pass this method to you. So what I did when I divided that into 15, instead of spending the other 15 hours that I'm now saying I'm not going to use for social media, I did something else to be productive, right? So there was a few books that I had bought in the past, and just like I'm sure some of you have done, you bought so many books off of Amazon or wherever you've gone, and you get to chapter 1 and 2, and you put it down because, like, all right, I'll read tomorrow. All right, tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month, and already 2 years you got 5 books, you haven't touched one, or maybe you've touched all five and you've only gotten to chapter 1. So what what I did is, all right, I am going to spend this time here reading, right? So, I read a chapter or two. And when I say I did not have a distraction, my phone was away from me. So I'm on my bed, I'm reading my book. My book is in my face, my phone is across the room. So even if it goes off, bing, I'm not dropping that book and picking this up. And now I'm writing a status, and now I'm going on some comment that somebody else left me. Oh my God, now I'm scrolling through Facebook. Oh my God, look, it's a cat video. Oh, it's a cute baby. Look at the cute baby. And now I'm just scrolling endlessly. And all of a sudden there goes 3 hours of my time. Left the phone where it was, spent a good hour or so reading. I got through about 4 chapters that day. Just 4 chapters. And that was within an hour. 4 chapters in an hour, which is something that I could say maybe in a year I would not have been able to do if I was not cognizant of my time. So my advice to you, spend a week doing exactly what you've done this entire time. Don't pay attention to that time, but I want you to be able to track it. You can track it using your phone. You can write down the hours that you spend on social media, whatever works for you. At the end of that week, divide that in two. And what that should do for you is now allow you to spend those other hours doing something productive. It could be whatever, it doesn't have to be reading, right? It could be playing a musical instrument. It could be running, going to the gym more often. Maybe you spend time cooking. Whatever it is, you just spend more time doing that instead of searching the web. And I can guarantee you that following week, you're going to say, damn, I could have been doing all this, but instead I was spending time scrolling social media. Maybe that is an opportunity to build better habits, to build healthier habits, to incorporate productivity, to be able to establish more discipline in your life in order for you to be more productive in general.
Agreed. Agreed. I think that is an excellent plan to execute. It's proven.
Yeah.
It's something that if you commit yourself to and you're disciplined, you're motivated, reminder, uh,
Yes,
it'll definitely be very productive for you.
absolutely.
So please give it a try.
Mhm.
Let us know how it works for you. Um, and hey, if you're even able to add something and put a twist on it or something that works for you, please share it in the comments. Put it down
Yes,
below. Let
yes.
us know what it can do for everyone,
Mhm.
and we are more than happy to be a part of it. Hey, if it's a method that I see that I'm willing to try, you better believe I'll be happy to do so. And I'll give a shout out to whomever is the person that was able to give that sort of energy and productivity in my life. So again, we're all here. We're all here to create that positivity,
We're a
to provide
community.
that good reinforcement, communication,
Absolutely.
part of it.
Absolutely. All
So,
of those are vital, man. We cannot express it enough. Life is so much easier when you communicate.
hmm,
It's really easy. It's really easy.
just it's just that simple. So we understand. Hopefully, with this particular topic, the sort of things that you know it affects you when you really focus on social media.
Mm.
And we've also been able to provide a few suggestions as to what you can do to try to help alleviate some of that focus on it so that you can get back to being you. You can get back to spending time with you because COVID really hit hard in a way where it also affected and people relied more heavily on social media than ever before, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this is a good opportunity, and the time is now to regress from that sort of mindset so that you can be a better version of you. That's
I'm
really
not gonna lie, man. There's a whole world out there. I don't know if you guys know that, but there's an entire freaking planet out there just waiting to be discovered, man. Like for you, for me, for my brother Will C. There's so much to be seen. And if you're just spending all of your time on social media, whether you're getting in battles with some other person in a comment that you disagree with, and you spend so much negative energy, so many hours going back and forth with this person who you're probably never going to meet, never going to see again, never going to see in person. Don't let people take that joy from you, man. Don't let people sit there and take away those opportunities that you have to be productive or to do something with your life, man. Like there's so many people that dream to be in the positions that we're all in. I mean, there's some people out there that don't have electricity, don't have a laptop, don't have internet connection, they don't have this mic, they don't have that light, they don't have this phone, they don't have anything to their name. And we don't take this for granted, man. It right now, honestly, it's late. It's late in the evening. We both had full days, we both had great workouts, right? I mean, it's but we're still here, we're still alive, we're still breathing, and we're still growing as a community, and we want you to grow with us. And this is going to be tough, right? When you see the amount of time that you're not spending being productive, it's going to hit you. It's going to hit you hard. It hit me hard. I know it hit my bro hard when you realize the amount of time that you're spending on doing things that are not going to end up being beneficial for you in the future. It hurts, but it's an awakening for you. It's a great time for you to turn your life around in a direction that is much more meaningful, that can lead you to bigger and better things, whether it is getting a promotion at work, whether it is opening your own business and being successful in that business. Anything. You can do literally anything if you are disciplined enough, if you are productive enough, and if you create the right types of habits to make your dreams come true. It is not fluff what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. It is not fluff, but it is also not easy. Don't let anybody fool you. This is hard. This is going to be difficult. You are going to push. You are going to be pulled in so many different directions. There are going to be distractions out there for you. There's always going to be that ad for that wonderful cheeseburger, and you know what I'm saying? There's always going to be that ad for that soda. There's always going to be that ad to just keep you sedated and not chase the dreams that you're after. It does not matter. The dream doesn't matter. It's the chase, man. And once you get on that vibe, once you trace that line, once you keep going and you keep climbing and you keep rising, you will get there, but you do not give up. Do not give up. This takes years. I know there's some people who are 22 or 23 have millions of followers. Don't let that discourage you from following your own dreams. That's another thing that this social media thing will do to you. It will
yes, it will.
distract you from getting your own dreams, from chasing the dreams that you believe are worthy. Don't let social media do that to you. Do not compare your life with somebody else, right? Somebody else has had struggles. Somebody else is still having struggles that you don't know about. So just pay attention to your own grind, push your own way, keep climbing, be disciplined, be productive, build these habits, and I can guarantee you that success is going to get to you. Your destiny is going to be fulfilled. Again, this is not just this type of crazy talk, man. This is legit. This works. You just got to put the work in. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, the success is in every step of the way because at the end of the day, it produces growth. It's really based on your outlook. It's all about a state of mind.
Yep.
Hence the importance of protecting it from social media, too much social media. Get it the healthy, realign yourself to get a healthy dosage of it. I wasn't saying to just go flat and go in the wilderness and just isolate yourself for the rest of your life. Just
Mhm.
find that balance for you that works so you can get back to enjoying your life. because every second counts. Every second counts, and that's really the message today.
Facts.
You know, that's the message.
Facts.
Yeah,
Every second. I can't stress it enough. Do not take it for granted. There were hundreds of thousands of people who lost their lives in these past couple years, not just from the pandemic, but so many other things, man. It could have been any of us, you know. God spare life, but you have to understand that this life is not promised for tomorrow, right? I mean, so many of us we lose perspective of that, and we think, well, we can live forever. You know what I'm saying? There are people living to 100 and all that stuff, and that's very true. But you never know when your time will be called. You never know when your number is going to be called, and you won't be here anymore. So while you are here, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your community, you owe it to your family to do the best you can to be productive, to be disciplined, and to build healthy habits that'll only help your future.
yeah. That's it right there, guys.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think this is a really good conversation
It
that
is,
we
man.
had today.
It
We hope
is.
that it's been beneficial. We hope that the some pointers were taken, as well received, and we're looking forward to some feedback on that. Like, give us your thoughts. Give
Please.
us your take and your
Yes.
opinions on social
Our,
media
yes,
uh,
yes.
that we didn't get to touch base on.
Yep.
Share it with the rest of our family, right? We're all one big group. Like, it's all a positive movement. So the more information we have, the better we can educate ourselves, and we can all grow together. So
Absolutely.
please drop that information down,
Yes.
share it, let us know,
Hey,
give us that
our
feedback.
DMs are wide open. I know we're talking about social media distractions, but please, if you are distracted for an hour, hit us up, man.
Positive reinforcement, guys.
Yes.
That's what is
Yes.
happening right now.
This is a
So
good distraction.
absolutely,
The
absolutely,
beneficial one. It's going to
absolutely.
invest your time into something worthy, man. You will thank yourself later for sure.
And Mr. J, how can they reach us?
Man, look, hey, it is at Acromis the movement. We are on IG, we are on Facebook, and we are now also on YouTube. Oh my God, the Acromis podcast. This is where this video will live. Come visit us, man. Leave some comments, hit us up in our DMs. We're all over. We're growing, and we want to grow with you. We're all growing together here, man.
Yes,
All growing together.
absolutely, absolutely. So what can we look forward to? What we
Man,
look forward to with our next topic?
I feel as though like we hit on some really key items tonight, especially when it came to how detrimental social media can be to our relationships, man. And I think what that could do is it could affect trust. And if you are in a relationship right now and things are going well, you have those, you still have those butterflies in your stomach. You love your significant other. You guys are on top of the world. God bless you. God
Yeah,
bless you. And that
congratulations.
that is what we want to have happen every single day. But we don't live in a perfect world, right? There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be distractions. There are always going to be things that are put in your way to try to slow you down. But the one thing in relationship that I truly believe builds the foundation is trust. It's
That's where it
trust.
is.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
trust. Absolutely. There has to be a healthy dosage of trust, choosing each other every day, and
Every day.
communication. Communication, as I've learned through my experiences, communication is
Yes.
everything. Being
It's
transparent
everything. It's everything, man. I think
makes a
I
break.
think with trust, learning how to really build trust with your partner is key, but I also think that what's even more of a key is learning what could destroy trust, understanding what could harm your relationship. And I feel as though if you are equipped with those keys and you still end up being responsible for destroying your own relationship, then I mean that's kind of on you. I mean there are different ways that we can take it, right? There are different ways that we can discuss what trust looks like, and we will definitely do that next Sunday. So we want you once again to join us again at Acromis the movement, at Acromis the movement. I'll say it one more time, at ACHROMOUSTHEMOVEMENT. You can find us everywhere, baby. That's what we do. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I'm so impressed with my spelling.
Congratulations. Spelling bee would have been awesome for you right now. You're a champion.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, it's been a real great Sunday. Hey, blessings to all of you. Happy Valentine's Day to all the couples. You don't want to miss what we have next week, man. Trust in relationships, how to build it, and what destroys it. Until next time, man, I am JH Gibbons.
I will see.
We'll see you all next time, man. Peace.
Peace.
Yay, yay.